Hello, welcome to Yin Yoga for neck and shoulders. If you have a yoga block, definitely recommend using it for this practice because we'll be getting into sort of massaging and releasing into the shoulders and the neck with it. If you don't have a yoga block, you could use a nice thick sort of rolled up firm towel, or if you had an extra yoga mat, you could use that as well. So let's get started on hands and knees. We're going to start right off with some cat and cow. So placing your knees under your hips and your wrists under your shoulders. Nice deep breath as you inhale. You're going to roll your shoulders back and down and open, lifting up your chest. Exhale, slow, strong exhale. Rounding into your back and really push with your hands into the floor so you feel your shoulder blades moving away from your spine. Let's keep going with that. Nice rolling inhale, shoulders come back and down away from your ears. Exhale, gather your belly up towards your spine. Press into the floor through your hands and let your head just kind of hang down, so easy neck. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's take 2 more sets of cat-cow. Try to feel as much nice sort of gentle rolling movement through your spine as you can. And try to keep your neck and your jaw pretty calm and relaxed. Maybe you can kind of shake your head out a little bit at that bottom of that cat stretch. 1 more round. Inhaling to open up and exhaling to round. Now come back towards more of a neutral spine. We're gonna, your spine will move a little bit here, but let's focus more on moving the shoulder blades. So I want you to think about rolling your shoulders up towards your ears, back towards your spine, armpits come down towards your hips, and then pressing into the floor to roll your shoulders forwards. If the coordination is a little funky, that's all right. Just do your best, but try to feel like big sort of shoulder blade rolls here on your hands and your knees. Keep breathing, nice deep slow breaths. See if you can do about 2 more. Getting as much movement, as much glide as you can between your shoulder blades and your rib cage. Now after this next one, back again to that neutral spine. We're going to go into a sideways cat-cow. So turning your pelvis and your head to the same side, almost like a dog trying to catch its own tail. Inhale, breath, and then exhale, switch over to the other side. Again, pause to inhale, and exhale to switch. Almost think about wrapping your torso, your waist, like around a tree. And 1 more time over to the other side. Back to center. From here, keep your left hand nice and grounded underneath you. We're going to open the right arm up towards the ceiling. Opening your chest, your shoulders, spinning your rib cage around to the side. Inhale as you reach, and then exhale, take a big thread underneath and through. Let the side of your head rest on the floor, the side of your shoulder. You can tent your left hand under your left elbow, or even crawl your hand up towards the top of your mat. We're going to stay here for a few nice, slow, deep breaths. And all of this is trying to get more movement into your rib cage, movement into your thoracic spine, so that there's a little more ease of movement in your shoulders and your neck, and you're not getting stuck in any one place. So creating movement and mobility. Breathing nice and deep. Try to inhale, feel your rib cage widen and expand. Slow, calm exhale. Maybe feel yourself twist just a little bit deeper into that thread the needle. And again, breathing in. Breathing out. Make sure that left hand gets nice and steady under your elbow, under your shoulder. Unthread the needle, taking your right arm all the way back open. Feel that nice big spiral twist of your chest and rib cage, and then bring your right hand down to the mat. Switching sides. Left arm opens with your inhale breath. So big stretch, wide open shoulders. Exhale, thread underneath and through. Back of your arm and shoulder to the floor, side of your head to the mat. Nice and relaxed with your neck. You can tent your right fingertips. Maybe crawl your hand up to the top of your mat. But try to kind of draw that top side of your rib cage back, or your top shoulder back. So you're helping to increase that bit of twist and rotation through rib cage and spine. Breathing again, nice and steady. Full breath all the way in, expanding rib cage. Nice, calm, relaxed exhale. Check your jaw is nice and relaxed. Maybe twist just a tiny bit deeper, reaching that bottom arm through a little bit more. One more breath, inhaling and exhaling. Bring that right hand down nice and steady. Open up the left arm again. Reaching wide and open. Breathe in right out to the fingertips. And then bring your hand down to the floor. From here, we're going to go into our puppy dog pose. So you're going to keep your hips right over top of your knees. Let's come on to tented fingertips for our first set. Your hands are a tiny, tiny bit wider than your shoulders. Start to crawl your hands away from you, your arms away from you, as you keep your hips where they are over top of your knees. Let your chest sink to the floor, your forehead melt to the floor. And then deep breaths here, about 3 sets of breath, really letting your sternum melt downwards towards the floor, opening into your chest and opening into your shoulders. So feel that nice, calm, slow inhale. And then a deep sighing exhale. As you kind of take that sighing exhale, maybe there's a sense of like really melting with your chest, melting with your sternum. Last set of breath on this first round. And then start to walk your hands back in and just take your hips all the way back to your heels for a child's pose. Now, once you're in your child's pose, you could make a stack of your hands for your forehead if you'd like, or you could bring your arms back by your sides and just let your arms and your shoulders kind of flop onto the floor. Stay in child's pose for a good few breaths. Really feel that letting go quality where you're letting all of your muscles relax. You're allowing your body to be held by the floor. Feel your head nice and heavy, the muscles in your face nice and relaxed. Feel your breath expanding into that back side of your body. See if you can feel your inhale really opening up into those little spaces in between your ribs. And then your exhale, continuing to melt and soften you into that shape and into the ground. Let's take one more breath here, one more inhale. One more deep exhale. Slowly rising back up, we're going to go into our second round of puppy dog pose. Now, you could do the same version that we did first time, either tented hands or flat hands, arms crawling straight out in front of you. You could use your block if you'd like to for a slightly different variation. Block between your hands on the widest width, kind of like a good sandwich with the full palm of your hand. Hips right over top of your knees. And then inchworm your arms away from you. Make sure your elbows are kind of snuggled in so your elbows aren't wider than your shoulders. They're maybe a tiny bit narrower than your shoulders. Again, let your forehead sink to the ground, your chest melt towards the floor. Just keep holding the block out on the mat in front of you, or if you want to add on, slowly bend your elbows and draw the block towards your shoulder blades. Again, nice, slow, deep breaths. Feeling that nice deep inhale Deep exhale, chest opening, dropping, melting to the floor. We're also really lengthening and opening into the underside of the arms, the triceps, right into the armpits and the lats. Keep your jaw soft, and again, 2 more breaths. Keep your breathing slow and steady. Last breath. Now, if you have your elbows bent, slowly lengthen your arms forwards, let go of your block, and even if it's a bit awkward, ease your way back up out of that puppy dog pose. Let's just give ourselves another quick cat-cow just to help kind of even out the spine. So open the chest, inhale, round the spine, exhale. From here, we're going to come to sit down on one hip. I'm sitting on the outside of my right hip, knees bent and kind of like tucked in. So you're kind of in like a side sitting position. Here's where we're going to use our block for our armpit. So we want to get the block on that medium height. And we're going to get our armpit centered right over the middle of the block. Now, as you kind of settle in here, 2 options for your head. You can let your head melt down towards your shoulder. It can get a little bit of a stretch into the side of your neck. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can rest your head in your hand. I want you to let your spine and your waist melt down towards the floor. So you're really relaxing into your torso, your abdominals. You're letting your spine just kind of drape down towards the floor. You're letting your arm, your rib cage drape over the block, and your head can drape either onto the shoulder or into your hand. So right away from here, we're going to just keep breathing nice deep breaths. And we want to roll slowly towards the front of your armpits. You're going to kind of let yourself just slowly, slowly, slowly roll towards the front of your armpits. You might feel a few sort of trigger points, massaging points. We're getting into all sorts of muscle attachments and places within the shoulder girdle and the pec muscles there at the front as you kind of roll towards the front of your armpit, your chest, and then slowly rolling towards the back of your armpit. And you can roll as far as feels good for you, as far as works for you. Kind of play with it. There's no real right or wrong way to go about this. Keep breathing, really deep breath, especially if you get to a point that feels a little sensitive. Slowly rolling again towards the front of your armpit, towards your chest. Try to keep everything as relaxed as you can, so you're not kind of tightening into the shape, but you're relaxing even more with every round of breath. Slowly rolling back. So let's go for about 5 slow rolls forwards and backs. That was about 2. Let's do like 3 more. And if you find a spot that feels especially sensitive, feel free to just stay on that one spot and, take some deep breaths or just take tiny little micro rolls back and forth. If you feel like you've got a bit of those, again, trigger points, they're a little painful, just remember you can always back off. So if you don't want to push too hard into these spots, so it should feel like a good kind of like achy massage feeling, but we don't want to be creating too much pain. Make sure you can breathe really deep into the whole movement, the whole sensation. I'm on my last roll forwards and back, and remember that you can kind of keep doing this for as long as you need to, but for time's sake, for video's sake, we're going to finish after this next one. And coming back to that straight centered position, take one more deep breath all the way in, and then a big exhale. Be really mindful as you come out of this. So keep your head nice and heavy. Gently start to come on up off that block. Press all the way up onto your seat. And you might want to just kind of sit up for a second and give your head a gentle little roll. Ease out through your neck, your shoulders. Maybe give your shoulders a couple little rolls. Now I'm just going to turn to the other side of the mat. We're going to go onto your other hip and jump right into the other side. So knees bent, you're on the outside of your hip, and we'll get the armpit centered right over the middle of the block. Okay, let waist, rib cage, spine melt and drape down to the floor. Take your time to figure out what works for your head and your neck. Slowly letting your head kind of relax down towards your shoulder or resting your head in your hand. Okay, take a breath or two just to kind of get settled onto the block so that you let your body kind of melt and drape into the block with a few nice easy breaths before you start to do those rolls. And then as you're ready, we'll start to go rolling slowly to the front of the armpits. Let your head and your neck just kind of naturally follow that movement in any way that works. Doesn't have to be, any particular alignment. Just kind of be nice and loose and floppy with the rest of your body. Slowly rolling towards the back of your armpit, the back of your shoulder. Continuing, rolling slowly forwards. Remember, we're going to do, approximately 5. Nice and slow, really taking your time, pausing when and where you need to. Keep taking those nice deep breaths. Slow, quiet inhales. Long, steady exhales. As you take those nice deep breaths, you're helping your nervous system to slow down, to recalibrate. At the same time, we're gently releasing tight spots in the body. And we're creating this nice feedback loop of breath and release. So they feed into each other, your deep breathing and the release work in the body. I'm going through my last roll forwards and back. Take your time. Go slow. Keep feeling that quality of really draping over the block. Like you're a towel draped over the back of a chair. Coming back to center. Take one more deep breath all the way in. Deep breath all the way out. Now again, slowly, mindfully, use your hand to help you come on up off of the floor. We don't want to rush our body here. Come up to maybe sitting just for a moment. Give your head, your neck some soft little circles. Your shoulders some soft little circles. I'm just going to help all of that even out, loosen out. So let's come to sitting next, and we're going to take our, I'm taking my right leg straight. You take whatever leg works for you to start off with. Other knee stays bent, and I'm staying fairly open. So I'm kind of staying open as best as I can to the long side of the mat. Now similar kind of sideways movement of our spine that we did. You can let your legs be pretty relaxed and floppy. We'll take our right arm, my right arm, whichever arm you've got with your straight leg, crawling your arm down the leg, and your opposite arm is going to wrap behind you, okay? Feeling your spine draping up and over, up and over, up and over. And again, you can let your head be like a nice weight on the end of your spine, draping sideways. Now, as we come up and over with this sort of sideways lean of your torso, you might start to feel a bit of a stretch through that top side of your neck and into the top of the shoulder. I want you to really relax your jaw. So let your teeth kind of unhinge from each other. Let your cheeks be really relaxed and soft. The muscles around your ears relaxed and soft. Again, if this is too intense on your neck, you could always do a little prop of your head into your hand or your fingertips. Now once you find that side lean, that sideways drape, we're going to do some small head movements. So we're going to let our nose and our chin kind of roll slightly down towards your armpit, almost like you're going to sniff your own armpit. You might feel a stretch change to getting a little bit more towards the back side of your neck. And then slowly roll your head back open. Let's do that 2 more times. Keep breathing, heavy head. Dropping your nose and your chin down towards your armpit. Almost think about kind of tucking your head right down, again, like literally almost like you're going to sniff your armpit. So you do get that nice curve and stretch into the back side of the neck. Opening up again, and 1 more time. Keep that nice, steady breath. And then when you get your head back to that straight side position, you're going to roll back up 1 bone at a time, letting your head be the last thing to arrive, okay? Once you are upright, release that back arm. And again, give your head a soft little shake, even like you're saying yes, like you're saying no, or little nose circles in the air, just to help those neck muscles kind of integrate that stretch. We're going right over to the other side. So switch your legs, switch the straight leg and the bent leg. You're still staying fairly open to that long side of your mat. Arm, same arm as your straight leg, and start to walk down towards your ankle. Opposite arm wraps behind you. Take your time. Slowly feel your spine, rib cage, neck, and head doing that sideways drape, sideways lean, letting your spine almost be like a crescent curve or like a rainbow curve with your head on one end and your pelvis on the other end. Again, if you need to support your head, give it a little help with your hand, your fingertips, or just let your head hang to the side. Relax your jaw. So often our neck and shoulder tension comes from clenching in our jaw, or stress kind of holding on and gripping. So bringing awareness to any of those patterns of gripping or holding, especially in your face, your jaw, or your shoulders. Really paying attention to those releasing exhales, letting go exhales. Start to roll your nose and your chin down towards your armpit, nice and slow. Go for that armpit sniff, so really kind of tuck your head down, see if you can feel that stretch a little bit more towards the back side of your neck. You might even run down towards your shoulder blade. Slowly rolling open to that straight side, nice heavy head position. And again, 2 more times, slow and steady, lots of breath. All of the muscles in your face, nice and relaxed. 1 more round. Once you get your head back to that straight side position, slowly coming back up again, make sure your head stays heavy so it's the last thing to arrive. Once you're upright, a few little head circles, nose circles, ease out that stretch through your neck. Okay, coming down now onto our belly. So we're coming into some prone shoulder stretches. So we're going to start on our belly and our forearms, just so you have enough space. I'm going to start with my right arm, similar to that thread the needle. I'm threading my right arm underneath my chest. Palm of the hand is open to the ceiling, back of the hand is touching the floor. Your arm should be higher than your nipples, so you've got space for your arm. From here, you can maybe use your block, if you'd like, underneath your forehead, crawling your other hand up towards the top of your mat, or you could let your forehead rest on the ground, or even make a little pillow out of that opposite hand for your head, whatever works best for you. So we're getting a nice stretch through the back of the shoulder into that space between your shoulder blade and your spine. So let your chest be really heavy towards the floor, like you're kind of flattening your chest over your arm. Let your belly be really relaxed. And take some nice deep, deep breaths. Now, if lying on your belly is not suitable or this is too intense, you could always come up to your seat, and I'll show you. You can just do nice traditional old arm across the chest, holding and breathing. Okay, so wherever you are with that, let's take about 2 more deep breaths. Really try to feel your breath moving into that space between your shoulder blades and your spine. So your inhale is combing open that space between shoulder blade and spine. Now with your last exhale in this position, let's take a big sighing breath. So breathe all the way in and big sigh on your exhale. Use your opposite arm, so for me it's my left arm, to kind of push into the floor just to slowly drag that arm out, and let's go right into the other side. So threading your other arm underneath, back of your hand is on the floor, palm of the hand is open to the ceiling. Start to flatten your chest over your arm, rest your head, your forehead on your hand, the ground, or on your block. Let your legs be loose and floppy, your thigh muscles relaxed, your glutes relaxed, your abdominals relaxed. Slow inhale, really filling up into the back of your chest. Slow exhale as you melt into the floor. Keep going with those deep, slow breaths. Try to direct your breath again into that space between your shoulder blade and your spine. Come back to checking in on your jaw, keeping it really relaxed. The muscles on the sides of your neck, nice and relaxed. The muscles in your face, nice and relaxed. Feel your belly breathing into the floor a little bit, that nice gentle expansion into the ground with your inhale. Nice soft belly on your exhale. Now last breath, deep, deep inhale, sighing out, exhale. Coming up just enough to unthread your arm. Now from here, we're going to go into the opposite. So we're going to go into stretching the front of the chest and shoulder. So we'll start with I'm going to go with this way so you can kind of see it a bit better. I'm starting with my left arm, going straight out to the side. I want to make sure that my arm isn't lower than my shoulder, because then we can kind of be rolling in onto the front of that shoulder capsule. So we want to make sure our arm is about at the same height as the top of our shoulder, and then bend your elbow 90 degrees. Okay, from here, I'm turning my head away from that bent arm. And option 1 is you can just draw one knee up nice and high, and it kind of opens your pelvis enough that you might start to feel a bit of a stretch into the front of that shoulder. To go further, you want to roll onto the outside of your hip, bend your knees, and draw your knees up nice and high towards your belly button. So you're almost in like a side lying position, but you've got one arm back behind you. I use my opposite arm, the arm that I'm not stretching, as my control. So I can tent my fingertips on the floor, and I can kind of push a little bit to help open the chest a bit more, to increase the stretch, or to hold a little bit of weight if it feels like it's an intense stretch. Again, checking head and neck is nice and relaxed. Try to direct your breathing now more into the front of your chest and shoulder. So inhale, try to send that breath expansion into the front of your chest. Try to feel those chest muscles lengthening. Exhale, that same letting go, melting quality into the floor. Let's take 3 more breaths on this side. Slow breath all the way in. Slow breath all the way out. Last big exhale breath. And then to come out of this, you want to kind of slither back out onto your belly. Switching to the other side. So sending your arm straight out, making sure your arm is just like not lower than the shoulder, but just at about the same height as the top of your shoulder. Elbow bends 90 degrees. Turn your head away from your arm, your bent arm. Again, first option, just bend that opposite knee up nice and high. That might be enough. Or bend both knees, rolling onto the outside of your pelvis, and draw your knees up nice and close towards your belly. So like a good solid 90-degree hip and knee bend. Opposite hand is your control again. I like to come onto tented fingertips. Use a tiny little press into the floor or a little roll of that top shoulder back to help increase the stretch. Keep your jaw relaxed. Inhale, feeling those chest muscles lengthen, directing your breath into the front of the chest and shoulder. Exhale, melting into the floor, relaxing into the floor. As you keep breathing into the shape, just remember that we don't want to push anything too far. Shoulders can be, they can be a little tricky to work with. So just make sure that you're getting a good, healthy stretch sensation. It's okay if it's a bit of a challenge, but we don't want to be pushing into any kind of pain where you feel like you're stretching something too far or you're hurting something if it's trying to protect itself. Okay, so be really mindful and pay attention to the quality of the sensation that you feel. Keep finding those deep breaths. Last 2 rounds of breath on this side. Last exhale can be a nice big sigh. Slithering back out onto your belly. And then once you're back on your belly, you need to kind of flop your arms out a little bit just to release that stretch you can. We're just going to turn over onto our backs. So turn on over any way that works for you. From here, we're going to grab your block, and we want our block up on the medium height. We're putting the block right underneath your head. I like to do this with my knees bent and my feet flat on the floor. You want to line up the edge of the block with that ridge at the base of your skull, where all those neck muscles and head stabilizers kind of come up and attach. You'll know you're on it because you feel that good sort of massaging feeling. You might need to angle your block a little bit. And feel free to keep holding on to your block with your hands as you do this. If you feel like your head can rest there pretty comfortably without needing to hold the block, then feel free to bring your arms by your sides. Now really let your chin melt down towards your throat. Really nice and soft through that bottom half of your jaw. When you're ready, we'll do slow rolls side to side on the base of your skull. So as you roll over to one side, you might feel that sort of massaging quality as you get over towards one side of your skull, and then slowly, slowly over to the other side. Keep your face relaxed. Your head as heavy as possible. Keep your chest and your abdominals nice and relaxed. Now again, this might be something you want to hang out with for quite a while. I always feel like I could do this forever. But for the time's sake of this video, let's just do one more slow roll from side to side. You can feel the kind of response, the letting go response that this triggers in the rest of your body. So as you kind of get that gentle massage across the base of your skull, you might feel the rest of your body just kind of like, oh, melt and release and let go. Coming back to center with your head, and then using your hands to slowly remove that block. Let your head and your neck come down to the ground and find neutral. Now just quickly before we go on here, just to get a little bit of good neck alignment, because this is all about neck and shoulders. And if our head is in funky alignment, it can put a lot of strain on those neck muscles and therefore on the shoulders as well. So just lying in this nice neutral spine, neutral position, you're going to take the tip of your nose like it's a pencil and draw a tiny little line up and back, like you're just drawing the line slightly back on the roof above you. Now on your exhale, you're going to take your nose, your chin, and slowly roll them down towards your throat. And it's almost like you're giving yourself a double chin. As you do that, try to feel the base of your skull lengthening up your mat. So you're really lengthening the back of your neck and aligning through that cervical spine. We're going to do that 2 more times. So take a slow little tilt with your head up and back. And then with an exhale, gentle tuck of your head down, feeling the base of your skull lengthen up towards the top of your mat. Give yourself a really good solid like double chin feeling. One more round. Opening up, little tilt, lifting, and then exhale, chin drops down. Just relax your head out of that position into more neutral. Maybe you'll feel that your head and your neck naturally line up a bit better. We're going to go into a twist to finish off. So you can either take your knees just stacked together, or if you want to wrap one knee over top, you could start with your right knee wrapping over top of your left. From here, we'll draw the legs over to the left side of your mat and slowly drape your right arm open. Now think about your arm being attached to your rib cage. So start from your chest melting open, then your shoulder melting open, and then finally your arm melting open. Just take a few breaths, breathing in, feeling your breath traveling all the way down your spine. Breathing out, really emptying from the bottoms of your lungs back up to the top. Head, neck, and jaw nice and relaxed as always. One more set of breath, twisting on this side. And then starting to unravel, coming back to center. Either keeping those knees hugged together or wrapping your left knee over top of your right, taking your legs all the way over. Really bring your knees and thighs up nice and high towards your belly. So again, as we open here, feel it starting from your chest. So your chest melts open, That's your rib cage, your shoulder, and then your arm as the last thing. So we're not just kind of cranking our arm back into the twist, we're trying to get that rotation from your spine and your rib cage, and then your shoulder and your arm follow. Head nice and relaxed. Get heavy into the floor. Deep breath. Breathing all the way down. Deep breath. Breathing all the way out. Feeling that emptying and filling of your lungs. Feel the ground holding you, supporting you. Nice and like that quality of surrender, that letting go into the floor. Last breath on this side. And starting to come back to center. Give both of your knees a good hug in towards your chest. Inhale. And then exhale, curl head, chest, and shoulders up towards your knees. So you're curling in nice and small. Breathe in to stay curled into that little tiny ball. And then exhale, you can start to unravel onto the floor. Now we're going to go into a rest, Savasana, for just a few breaths. If you want to put something underneath your knees, like a bolster, a rolled up blanket, or even one block underneath each knee, you could do that. Arms can be floppy by your sides. Or you can put your hands on your belly or your chest. Any version of Shavasana that works. Side lying even is great. I just want you to feel relaxed enough that you can really let go into the floor. So feeling from the top of your head first, nice and relaxed, through the skin on your scalp, and then slowly trickling down through your head. So softening your forehead, around your eyes, relaxing around your ears, your cheeks, around your mouth, your jaw, down through the sides of your neck, the back of your neck, the front of your neck, relaxing down through your shoulders, your arms, your hands, relaxing into your chest, your rib cage, your abdominals. Keep moving down. Feel your pelvis soft and heavy, your legs heavy and relaxed, your thigh muscles, your knees really relaxed, down through your calves, your shins, relaxing your ankles, your toes, and the bottoms of your feet. Now from this place of really letting go of tension, of feeling that quality of surrender, let's take 2 more deep breaths. Slow inhale, filling your lungs. Slow exhale, emptying everything out. And one more time. Deep breath all the way in. Deep breath all the way out. Now feel free to stay in Shavasana longer if you'd like to. Otherwise, you can roll slowly over onto one side, staying nice and soft, nice and gentle. And then using your hands to help you come back up to your seat. My hair's a crazy mess, but I feel great. Thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoy. Namaste.